All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's the four of us today. We got Pete, Anto, Mike, and Marco. My dad is not around today. Mike, you're really growing out that mustache.
Yeah, I was I let everything grow, and I was like, oh, I look gross. So I started shaving, and I was like, let me just keep it on.
Yeah, you grew the beard out a little bit longer than we're used to.
Yeah, it was too much. Too much. And then
So who do you listen to before you make those decisions? The girls, us?
A voice in the back of my head.
Us. He does the opposite. You know what he should do?
Wow.
You know, there's that guy, the United guy, that if you win 5 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't cut your hair.
Yeah.
Until Italy qualify for a World Cup. You keep the mustache.
But he's gaining a lot of ground right here. Look at that.
Smart guy. Guys, we have the Italy World Cup matches that are coming up.
Why we starting
Thursday.
with this?
I didn't say we're starting with
All right,
this.
it's out of your mouth.
I'm trying to set the scene. We have that coming up, and we do have an incredible Serie A to talk about with Inter, who all of a sudden, a lot of what we were talking about in the last week, I think there's some nerves. Are they throwing away the Serie A title? Is the pressure getting to them? Is Milan back in the conversation? Is Napoli back into the conversation? A couple of weeks ago, we were laughed at for talking about Napoli, but maybe it's not as crazy. Top 4 position, Como is in pole position, as you would say. You're a Formula 1 fan, and I feel like Juventus is not going to get Champions League football anymore, which is just crazy to think about. And then after the international break, there's some tough games, Roma and Inter. But I feel like we have to start with Italy. I know it probably doesn't make sense, but I almost can't function. This Monday, I struggled looking at the call-ups, thinking about that it's actually coming this Thursday. Italy have to play Northern Ireland in the first of hopefully 2 matches to qualify us for the World Cup. Gattuso spoke. There is some debate in Italy with Federico Chiesa, who showed up and then left.
Your favorite guy.
But how's everyone feeling leading into this? Because I kept saying for a long time that it was so far away, and now the fact that it's here, I almost want to keep pushing it away so that it never comes.
Let me get it out of my chest before this guy here he says something. You know what? I know the way I feel. Win or lose, I don't care.
It's not true.
I'm over with. I'm
not
telling
true.
you the reasons why. Just hear me out. First of all, we don't need this additional pressure to be putting on the top of those fragile players that we have. Bastoni is chickening himself out. Chiesa, we know the kind of garbage that we have by just calling this guy. Then we have the only one that I would kind of slack right now is Mancini, even though I have questioned the way he plays defense and all the stuff. But I applaud him because for the effort that he puts all the time in and out of the game. Then we don't know whether Tonali is going to be fit to play. And then we don't know somebody else. It's just 4 or 5 players that they don't want to be there. But somehow they just throw a curveball and they make you believe that they have issue, whether it's physical, whether it's this, or whether it's that, or whether it's mental, or whether it is what it is.
Before we get into the details, how are you feeling leading into this? You're usually the optimist. You see things for how they are. You don't let your emotions.
You cut me
take
off
over.
right in the middle, but go ahead.
Because I was asking for a general theme, and you went very specific.
Anto?
But it's all right.
It's the same thing.
I understand.
It's all the time. You cut me off. It's okay.
I understand. Peter hasn't said one word on the podcast.
All right. But I'd like to see when you're going to cut him off.
How do I feel? It's I mean, listen, I think missing a 3rd World Cup in a row would be a disgrace. So I think ultimately, I know Gattuso might have limits as a coach. I applaud him taking this job, right, and understanding what is at stake. And I just hope, and we've discussed it since his appointment, right, saying, okay, at least he's going to give the right motivation. He's going to make sure that the players are going to fight like he does in the field. Yeah. But I think it's easier said than done, unfortunately. And it really depends on who do you have as a leader on this team. And that's been something that, unfortunately, even in these recent games, whenever there was a big game, no one has really, stood out, taken the opportunity to be that leader for this team. So, that's the pessimist part. Like, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, geez, Thursday's coming, and we better not do what we did last time with Macedonia. And then the optimist, Pete, is the fact that okay, we don't have these superstars anymore, but come on. We have players that should beat in Northern Ireland.
All
We
right,
have
now let's
players
cut Pete off. Let's
that
get
can-
Mike back on.
that can play and beat Wales, beat Bosnia, whoever they have to face should be able to beat these opponents.
Mike, what you say?
Mike, I want to ask your perspective because I've seen online some discourse from people who are not Italian who are saying you guys are being dramatic. You're playing Northern Ireland. We were just listening. 8 out of their 11 players are playing the championship, which is in the second division of England. They 2 best players, Connor Bradley and the defender, are going to be missing the game. Emotionally, you could separate things more. Are we being dramatic, or are we simply saying the truth of what we've endured by missing these past 2 World Cups? How would you assess that?
No, I don't think you guys are being dramatic at all. International break is there's a big separation between international break and club football. International break, I mean, maybe for me personally, there's more emotion. There's more national team duty. There's more heart. You don't play with the players written down on paper, these superstars. You play for your country. That's something else.
Some of them.
Some of them, yeah. But for the majority, we're saying, Pete, you're saying should win. For me, for international break and must-win games to qualify for the World Cup, especially with a team, obviously Italy are not the underdogs. Northern Ireland are. They're so fired up to play this game.
Northern Ireland,
they're foaming to play. They're thinking, oh my God, we're right there. We could do it. And they see the previous times Italy failed, and they're gonna use that as fire motivation. They're gonna be spitting blood, everything to do this.
You know, their coach actually said, because we're playing the game in Bergamo, which is a smaller stadium. The coach of Northern Ireland actually said that's a really good thing for us. He goes, it's perfect. We're not gonna have the fear of like a San Siro, for example.
Exactly, and they're gonna use everything to their might. So at the end of the day, no, I don't feel like you guys are overreacting at all. This is something. This is going to be monumental. This is a historic thing for Northern Ireland. And if they even manage to get in the game and get a good tempo and build up a little bit, it can get really scary.
Where's your panic meter at for us?
What do you mean your panic meter? Like 8, 9, 8 to 10?
It's a little scary, especially with the absentees. I'm not going to lie. When I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's that's like a punch in the stomach. When I saw that, I then Gattuso too, who... not calling someone up to replacement kind of puts you in like a little disarray, a little confusion also, and it's like, and the way it happened just so quickly. I remember saying, months away. It's this week. It's it's like that big test that's coming up.
Exactly.
You know, like a statewide
It's a pit
test
in your stomach.
and you're like, oh my God, am I gonna pass? Am I gonna? That's how it feels like to me, and I'm not Italian. I can only imagine how it is for you.
He summed
the
it up well.
absentees are the least of our problem. Look, the start.
I was talking about Chiesa. I was like, he's gonna save the day. But now,
thank God it's not playing.
Save Chiesa.
Thank God it's not playing.
I don't want to
But
go there
look
yet.
at the status of form that we have with Barella. That is not playing well.
Yep.
Locatelli. That is not
No,
playing.
Locatelli's in good form.
He's in good form. Look at that. He misses the penalties like a candy. He's giving them a lollipop. I said here.
But
It's
overall, he's in very good form.
listen to me. Barella, Locatelli, even Di Marco. I don't see them I don't see them. I don't have any trust on those people. I don't.
You chose bad examples. The good examples to show are Bastoni. Bastoni's a good example.
Bastoni's
Barella's
a good example.
Tonali
What is he
had
doing?
this.
What is he
Tonali had
doing,
this
Bastoni?
fitness issue that he had in the game against
Wait,
Barcelona.
am I see something that
Moise
you
Keane,
don't see?
no, Moise Keane as well is not in great form.
Yeah.
Hasn't scored in over a month in the
No
Serie A.
excuses. No excuses. No excuses.
just
Even
started
when you're
Yeah,
not
you're
well.
the one
You were the one that
sounded
Even
started
when
it.
you're not well, it doesn't matter. Listen to me. Even when you're not well, you lie. I said, I'm on top. I'm on the top of my game. Okay. You lie. For the Italian national team, Mike said it right. You're going to spill blood. You're going to give it, even if you die on the field. That's why you wanted to die. You're going to die on the field for your Italian pride. You play for the pride. You play for the country.
But do we do that? Have we done that?
Not
Doesn't
recent,
feel
not
like it.
recent.
I guess that's best case scenario with Gattuso. And I listened to his whole press conference today. And again, we are going to talk about the call-ups and probably our best lineup that we have. The one thing that he did focus on, and I guess best case scenario is he's not focused as much on tactics, which sounds counterintuitive. But compared to Luciano Spalletti, who was very focused on the tactics and the trainings, he said, I'm not showing them long video sessions. I'm not doing all this. I'm trying to just create a group similar to what Lippi did in 2006, where he chose a group and going off of national pride and fighting for each other and the hunger. That is what Gattuso's trying to bring.
Listen, I don't think that these players are not going to give everything, right? Ultimately, that's what's going to happen. Aside from Chiesa, who I don't really understand what the hell's going on with this guy. All these players, they want to do great. They want to make a World Cup. They want to play for Italy. Mm-hmm. But it's the pressure that's the issue.
That's what makes it beautiful, the pressure.
Of course.
It should.
But what happens is, I even think the Italy of the past, right? If they had the pressure of missing 2 World Cups and everyone talking about it nonstop and all the, everything is magnified, not just 10 times, 100 times about this game coming up, and we don't have strong characters. We don't have strong leaders.
That's a problem.
So you have nobody. So even Gattuso, what he's saying is we need to be able to create the group. That's important. But ultimately, we need somebody who's going to stand up and not feel the pressure. When Italy won the World Cup in 2006, the players used to say that they were playing PlayStation the night before, right? To kind of just shrug it off, and it's just like any other
Different
game.
mentality,
Although
those guys.
it's a big game coming up. You need somebody with character. And I mean, even the lesser players on that Italy team, even a Materazzi, for example, who had an amazing 2006 with Italy and the World Cup run that Italy had, he had character as a bench player because it was supposed to be Cannavaro Nesta, okay? As a bench player, he had character. Who has character on this Italy team? Who has the experience going deep?
Who would it be, you guys think?
I'm going to sound crazy, and I was just getting into this conversation with some people that follow our podcast on Twitter, and I think that this is actually true what Peter's saying. More than the quality that we lack, I really think that we lack the
mentality, the winning
old
mentality,
character. When we talk about going out against Macedonia, do you remember Barella's comments? We felt too much pressure. We felt like we didn't deserve to be there. We were thinking about the next game before, so we don't have that same humbleness. You know who's somebody that I like what he spoke about, and again, Mike, to answer your question, the facts are going to prove what is true. This guy's like Pio Esposito, who I love what he's saying in the media, at least. I know he's a young kid, but he's got that desire. He seems like, I feel like sometimes we lean on our experience so much in Italy. We lean on the guys who have won for us in the past, but you don't get that same character, that same desire, that same spirit. And the frustration for me is, why are we only calling up guys like Palestra, Pio Esposito? Why are we calling them up and not having this group together before? In the matches that we played against Norway, it would have been good to see in that moment, not in the crunch time, not when everything is on the line. But I suppose this is the situation we're in, and I want to ask you guys, before we get to some of the snubs, the formations that are going around. The probable formation at the moment, as of today, is a 3-5-2. I think we could all agree that this team has to play a 3-5-2. Donnarumma would be in net. The 3 in the back at the moment are Mancini, Bastoni, Calafiori. The midfield 5, this is Gattuso's probable.
So Bastoni is playing.
Politano, Tonali, Locatelli, Barella, Di Marco. Up top, Keane and Retegui. That is, according to the newspapers, the lineup. If you would ask me, I would love Politano's not in great form. I would love Esposito over Keane because I think he's in better form. I would love Scalvini instead of Mancini in the right center back position. I would love Palestra instead of Politano. But those are the changes that I would love to see, but I doubt we get them. I think they would bring us at least some fresh blood.
Yeah, I think he's I would agree with you, but it's also he would get beheaded if he puts in those players and they don't perform because by not going with
Gattuso will
experience.
be beheaded by who?
I think so.
Who can take him down?
I think the Fiji Chi are gonna kill him.
So.
Well, he'll be the scapegoat no matter what.
Yes, but if he throws in new players out of nowhere, just like that, I think even though I agree with you, it would be nice to bring in some hunger in the lineup. But in these,
I think it's the opposite,
must-win
actually.
games,
I actually think if he leans on the experience
That's
again,
what it's gonna
I
get.
think it might be a bigger
I agree
race.
with you. One of the few times that you and I, we agree. But you know what, Mike? Let me say something. In the Italian national anthem, we have words that says "Siamo pronti alla morte." We are ready to die. L'Italia chiamò, that means, hey, let's all get on the huddle and let's all go for the same goal. We are winning, whether you like it or not. Even if we're gonna die, we're gonna give it everything.
Do you have that confidence in this group?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
I don't, and I'll tell you the reasons why.
And what do you think about the formation as well?
The formation, I'm not thrilled about it. I will start Esposito because he's doing very well, despite all Inter sucking the way they've been playing lately.
Okay.
He's the only one.
Let's put club football aside.
Okay, Esposito will start at Palestra. Definitely I will start it. Politano, it's already, they've seen it too many times. They know already what it's going to do.
Predictable.
Yes, it's like a phone call that you've been waiting for 3 hours. Okay? So Politano is very predictable. Palestra, he cuts into the middle, he goes down, he takes you down to speed, he takes you down the line, and he dribbles you. He's the one of the guys that takes you one-on-one without being afraid to make a mistake. This is the people that we needed to see. Di Marco, I just hope to see the best Di Marco, because this is another guy that once he wears the Italian national jersey, for some reasons, I don't know, it's either
I don't agree with that.
it disappears.
I don't agree with that. He had a bad Euro, but before that, he's come up in big
We
games
will
for us.
see. We will see. I just hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
I just hope I'm wrong.
What do you think about the midfield?
Okay.
Because the midfield was one of the reasons why we did have an amazing Euro, and I feel like it overcompensated for some of the lacks we had in attack. That used to be the discussion, right? We're missing a striker. Now I feel like we do have strikers, but the midfield terrifies me. The three guys. Yes, Tonali's playing at a high level. Yes, Locatelli's better than before. Barella's having the down year. We talked about it, but it feels like there's a lack of creativity in that midfield. It feels like something big is missing there.
Yeah. Well,
Do you feel that same concern, or are you concerned more elsewhere?
I mean, to be quite honest, I think even Pio is a great shout, but I have no problem with Keane or Teggy playing.
Okay.
I think that, even Keane is suffering. Look at what he did versus Inter. I mean, he was giving everyone trouble. So, goals and all this stuff are great and is necessary for a striker, but he does a lot of dirty work, and he's able to, create the defender, create problems for the defender, and force the defender to respect his speed, right? Something that Pio maybe doesn't have in terms
Will
of
there
what
be
he
that
can offer.
space though in this game?
Listen, it's going to be a tactical battleground. I think with Italy, when you look at the formation, you have to play a 3-5-2 because you have to play with a Di Marco, who his only position is to play as the wing back. And I think maybe instead of Politano, I would like to see Palestra. And maybe that gives a spark to this team as well, where, I look at Di Marco, right? If you have Politano, you have two guys that are more offensive-minded. So at least by putting in a Palestra, who, is also a natural defender, it gives you the opportunity for, this kind of balance that we might need in this game because, I'm not too familiar with Northern Ireland, but if I were to imagine, they're going to sit back and they're going to counter. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Gattuso gave a little color to how they play, and he said they play with a lot of heart. They're extremely vertical when they get the ball. They go direct, and he said they're deadly on set pieces. He said that's the one thing that I keep reminding the team is that set pieces we need to be careful.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right.
So for that reason, I think it's important to have that balance. And in terms of the midfield, we don't have the trequartista. We don't have the crazy technical players that we once had that will create something from nothing. But I think Tonali is always recognized as one of the best midfielder in the Premier League. And I think even, he's gotten praises from Scholes, right, who's probably one of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League in the world. Locatelli, we give him a lot of crap, but he's someone on this Juve team that's always looking to play the ball, always looking to kind of direct traffic. So and he's always given heart, whether he missed the penalty or not. He's going to play for the.
If we get a penalty, who's going to
team.
take the penalty?
All right, let's take a quick break from the podcast to talk about our sponsor, Mike. They know it already. Lotto is sponsoring us until the World Cup, which Italy, we're going to be there in the end. We're still maintaining the faith. And the good news is they have a new collection that just dropped. They're sick sweatpants. They're sick quarter zips. I absolutely love them. Lottosport.com. Shop the new collection. Mike, I love wearing this every single day.
Dude, they got the cozy fits out now. Now with this, especially in New York, it's been snowing on and off.
Been brutal, yeah.
So guys, head up on that side. I know there's a lot, especially up north in Canada. It's freezing over there. The quarter zips, not only gonna keep you stylish, but you're gonna look sick in them.
There's like a weird trend online too about quarter zips, right? Have you seen that on TikTok?
I did, yeah.
I hit my TikTok algorithms for some reason. But Lotto is back. I'm seeing everybody talk about them, post about them all over my Instagram feed. I was just on a special trip with them, which is gonna come out very soon. A special video.
Peeks, nothing.
I don't think I'm allowed to say that much, but let's just say there's some huge people that are involved in this, and it's amazing because Lotto is a company that I grew up with. It's a company that since I was a child, it represented calcio, represented soccer, represented football. It was the history. It's what some of the best players that I idolized growing up wore. Went away for a little bit, but it's really cool to see them come back, and it's really cool that they're supporting us. So if you want to support IFTV, support Lotto. They're with us. Check out lottosport.com. The new collection is fire. Or you could go to Dick's Sporting Goods in store or online and check it out there.
And we have all the links in the description. Go check it out. Follow them on social media. And back to the show.
I wouldn't let Locatelli take it, but
No.
Retegui.
Retegui?
I would let Retegui. Even though he did miss against Arsenal a penalty. Now that after I say that,
Retegui?
I think that's a good show.
he's cold-blooded. The thing I know
They figured this out in
Retegui.
training,
Let's
but-
be honest. We're not watching him in Saudi Arabia. We just say the truth. He's got 15 goals in Saudi Arabia, but the guy for the Italian national team, he always performs. And for me, he's cold-blooded. He didn't have to play this week, so he's been training at Coverciano a week earlier than everyone else. I like Retegui. I want to keep him. For me, he's one of the guys that he doesn't crack under the pressure. Let's talk about the players that were omitted, that were overlooked, and I'll give you the reasoning from Gennaro Gattuso. Gattuso says, I didn't call up certain players that are in good form
I'm surprised
because
Bartesaghi was not called.
because
I'm so pissed off, man.
because I want to create the group, and he's focusing on the group. And he said, I'm not gonna. If we go to the World Cup, it's not that they're gonna be out of the project, but I went with who gave me the guarantees in the group. So the names, there's two names that I'm upset about. Coyote, who in the Premier League, I work with all English guys. I work with guys that cover the Premier League all the time. They cannot believe that Coyote doesn't play for Italy. They said he's one of the best right backs in the Premier League. And he doesn't even get called up. Well, to me, crazy. Fagioli, too. I like Fagioli from Fiorentina. I think he gives us something different. He's creative. He's been great for Fiorentina. I think he deserved to be in the roster. Then there are the other names that everyone keeps talking about. Zaniolo, who's in good form. Orsolini is another one. Bernadeschi, Bartesaghi. There's a few there. I guess Gattuso, at the end of the day, we have to accept that this is the way that he's seeing things. He's not calling just based on form, and he's leaving certain guys out for that reason. Let's talk about the Chiesa situation. Let's peel this onion. Situation is this. Chiesa has rejected the Italian national team on 2 previous occasions where he said he was not fit to be called up. We got the story from Gattuso himself, who came out and said, I called Chiesa, but what can I do for somebody who doesn't want to come? Gattuso's words. This is in the past, when we needed to qualify for the World Cup the normal way. Now, surprisingly, Chiesa gets called up. He's brought to the team. He shows up at Coverciano, and we wake up this morning. It happened at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, our time. And I thought it was fake. I was refreshing to see. It says, Chiesa's injured. He goes home. And I say to myself, how the hell does this guy get injured?
He got injured on the plane. He slept on the bathroom.
What happened? What happened from when he just came on for Liverpool to now? Gattuso came out afterwards, giving a little bit more color, saying that Chiesa told him that he didn't feel well and that he's not staying with the team. He didn't want to stay with the team. And Antonio, you and I were talking before the podcast, and we gave the example of Scamacca, who is not healthy. He's out, injured, but he is staying with the group. He wants to stay within the group. So to me, there's 2 things to this. How the hell did we get into this situation where Chiesa's leaving the national team? And then, even if we get there, is there any reasoning to ever call him up again? And this is a guy that I loved, that I stuck up for. I always try to give the benefit of the doubt. I try to have empathy for the player. but this is the straw that maybe broke the camel's back, because I have no justification. Can anyone explain this to me?
Is a lie. Okay, this is nothing but PR. Gattuso is a gentleman. He happened to have this tough job that Peter has been saying right now, and he's not going to try to destroy the career of this loser that he doesn't want to play for the Italian national team. He doesn't feel, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have anything. Neither there is no emotion. Which is, you're looking at this guy, it's looking like you look like a piece of vegetable. No life. He's got no life. This guy here is nothing.
But he does have life when he comes on for Liverpool.
When?
He looks
Those 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so if he
Why?
does have life,
Why?
if he does have life, that means it's his fit to play. He didn't get injured. He said yes when he was cold. And that's what I started to worry. I said to myself, and I swear, you saw me on the chat. I said to myself, if this guy plays, I'm leaving. I'm not watching the game. I do not like people like that. This guy's got nothing for Italy. He's got no pride. I'm not even sure if it's Italian at this point. I mean, hey, guys, you do not want, it's a blessing that he's not playing. You do not want people like Chiesa. Chiesa, he left Italy for money. He left Juventus. Now Juventus is trying to get him back. And now this saga, this telenovela with the Gattuso, he's in, he's out, he's in. And then he comes to Coverciano. And then the same day he leaves. Get the hell out of here. Stay in London. Don't come back.
Liverpool.
In Liverpool. We don't need you. Same thing. Same as in England. Fish and chip is in London. Fish and chips is in Liverpool.
Okay.
We don't need him. We don't need him.
Does anyone have some explanation for this? Is there any?
No.
Was he told by Gattuso, hey, you're not going to be starting, and then he was mad? That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, that's a fair shout, but I just really don't understand how you take that and say, okay, I'm leaving if I'm not starting. How, like,
that was me speculating.
Yeah, no. My point is, like, there's no rhyme or reason for how he behaves, and even in the past that he didn't want to play in these games. That really, if you think about it, especially the last call up, nobody thought that we were going to advance, and score all these goals that we need. So, like, there was no pressure there, I think. And I would have hoped that Gattuso, you took that opportunity, not just to call in Chiesa and Chiesa to go, but also for any younger players.
Great point.
But how the hell does this guy refuse or go home, act injured? I don't even know. Like, how? How? It does not make sense.
He's scared.
And, okay, but scared or not, like...
No, it's not that.
Don't let
It's
that
just-
influence you. Continue.
I'll tell you the reasons.
You don't
why.
have it.
I'll tell
You can't figure it out.
I really can't understand how, where's the logic to this? Because this is supposed to be, as Antonio said, this is the greatest pride.
It's the dream
greatest thing
for
that
any
anything
soccer player.
can
Well,
happen.
there's gonna be a Netflix documentary about that.
And he's lived
He
it
has
too
his
with the
decision.
Euros. Like, he was the catalyst for his team.
Something happened.
Don't you feel like you want to be a catalyst again? Don't you want to be a star again? On Liverpool, they don't even care for you.
There's something we don't know.
And
P.
The coach hates
And
him.
this guy doesn't want to play for Italy.
There's stuff we don't know.
So no, of course, and
A lot
I
of
also
fillers.
think not so much to understand what's going on with Chiesa, because I'm
Yeah,
really
fair
really
enough.
at a loss of words when it
Yeah.
comes to that, because I would just take him and
Oh boy.
yeah,
Oh boy.
I would slap him around.
Yeah,
But
that's
beside-
right. Pete, I would love to see
my
that.
my thing is Gattuso, right? This is the part that's interesting, right? Because I think the old Gattuso or the player
Oh, it will
Would've-
chew him alive.
shoot him alive.
He'd be in
Okay,
prison.
I think the coach, if not for this fragile moment, he would have had a very different discussion about Chiesa.
I agree with that.
And I think it's also a point where, because this is the chess part as well when you're dealing with the media in Italy, right? Because, on one hand you could say, okay, this is an opportunity to put everything on Chiesa and take away maybe some pressure from the players, right? Create this saga, create this issue,
Intellectual.
and make this thing exactly, and
His eyes lit up.
and make this thing
If you
into,
know- if
and
you
make
know,
this
you
thing-
know.
and make this thing into Gattuso versus Chiesa and take away. But I don't know. Does he have the players have his back enough? Does he have them where he can go and attack a Chiesa And then the players, what are they going to say? So, like, there's all these factors
Mike,
that you
go
have
ahead,
to
because
figure
I was
out.
about to do something.
Mike, do you have
say something?
Mike, do you have anything different than what we've
I
said?
got the
Can
solution.
you? Okay, Anto. Can you find a way to explain it?
Complete despair, confusion, a loss for words.
I got the solution.
He's got a lot of words.
Oh my God.
And to be honest, I think it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for Chiesa, and I really hope we find out, and it's like, okay, I understand why this all happened, this whole fiasco. I hope it's that for the sake of Chiesa and for the sake of the national team and just all of that. But if not, and it's really about Liverpool or whatever the case is, I don't think there's a reason you want a character like that going forward in the locker room. And doesn't matter. It could be a Pelé, a Maradona. You don't do that stuff for your country.
To Mike's point, I'm gonna ask you, and then we could all say.
Okay.
Again, this is not the moment. I actually hate that we have to spend this much time because it is such a delicate moment, and Italy is much greater than just one player.
Yeah.
Again, if Italy go to the World Cup,
That's horrible.
don't joke like that. Would you go?
It's actually veneer. It's a laminate. It's not even wood.
You gotta go.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
If Italy goes to the World Cup, would you call Chiesa to go
No.
No.
to the United States?
Depends what happens. Depends what
No, not
happens.
even-
Wait,
I want to know the story.
Mike,
No, the
Mike,
story.
not even depends.
No.
Not depends.
'Cause
Is there
we don't-
anything that he could say that would change your mind?
You don't know,
Like
maybe
what?
something personal. I don't know.
I can't even. But my point is, I can't even think about what could, because no matter what,
Family
some sort of
problems,
relation.
Maybe
Oh.
like that. That's what I'm saying. Other than that, like you would have to know. There's very few things, but if it is that, that's what I'm just
Okay.
trying to say.
And my turn.
You said no.
It's
You
my
s-
turn.
You said no.
No, it's my turn. I wanted to say something. Don't cut me off.
Can you let him answer?
Don't cut me off.
Okay, Karen.
Would you? No.
Oh, okay. Don't cut me off. No, you messed up my thought.
Oh, God forbid.
First of all, Gattuso is finding himself now between a rock and a hard place. It's probably the locker room too, telling Gattuso, hey, this guy here was begged. First time was begged. Second time, you called him. The third time, he comes over and then he leaves. Now you still, if we qualify, you still have the balls to call him back to do what? What is it that he has to do for us that they didn't want to do with us before? That's
You would lose
my
the
first
group.
point.
You would
yes,
lose, you would lose a group.
You will lose the locker
You would
room
lose a
and the group.
I think.
Number two.
You found your thought quick.
Number two. Okay, don't make me lose my thought.
I'm
Okay?
trying. I'm desperate.
Listen. It's a simple game. We're talking about Italy against the Northern Ireland.
Here we go.
No,
Here we go.
this is not
This is a
only.
There
flashback.
we go.
Listen to me.
You remember what he said about Macedonia?
We're
Do I
talking
remember?
about Italy against the Northern Ireland.
God.
Questi sono dei dilettanti.
Oh my
This is
God.
this
Relax.
This is why
Relax.
we always lose.
You know what
This is
I
why
don't
we
like?
cut you off, Anton.
You know what? You know what I don't like? Have you seen Juventus when they lose, or Inter when they lose, and then
What about
or
Milan when
Napoli
they lose?
or Milan when they lose? That they go under the curve, and then the fans they said "fuori I coglioni" means get your ball, show me your balls.
thank
This guy doesn't have any balls, Chiesa. So this is never going to be an issue. Italy is going to win. Hands down.
Okay.
Let's take Chiesa out of the equation forever. Chiesa, there is no but if we qualify, if this and if that. There is no more Chiesa and there is no more if. That equation, that water is already under the bridge. It's over.
By the way, while we were doing this, I got a notification from Sky Italia.
Chiesa's coming back.
And Gianluca Di... No, sorry. I didn't mean like that. I meant about the lineup, the probable lineup.
Okay.
I got good news and I got bad news.
Good news.
Do you want the
Palestra's
good
playing.
news? Do you want to...
Palestra.
Do you want to know the good news or the bad news?
Good news.
The good news is they have Palestra starting over
Yes!
Politano.
Yes.
The bad news is they got Mancini starting over Scalvini.
It's okay. I like it.
But the rest
That's not
is what
bad
we
news. It's
the
not
rest
bad
is what
news.
we said. Donnarumma, Mancini, Bastoni, Calafiori, Palestra, Barella, Locatelli, Tonali, Di Marco, Keane,
So to
Retegui.
tell you the truth,
That's great news.
the issue in the defense is not going to be Mancini. It's going to be Bastoni.
Yeah, but it's going
You're
to be.
sending shivers down my spine.
No,
with
it's
that.
going to be Bastoni.
It's going to
I
be booed. It's going to be
disagree.
booed.
Bastoni.
He's not gonna be
No, it's not
booed.
about being booed. Bastoni in the middle
He'll be fine.
does not have a
he's
good
out
track
of-
record. So
Did you guys
he's
watch?
got a he's got a
Did you watch Mancini in the
better-
Europa League? This guy is a walking liability. he
Mancini's
is
strange.
he is a walking. He's a fake tough guy.
He
He,
has-
thinks he's Materazzi
the
in
thing
his
is-
mind. He's not Materazzi.
The thing is, he has high highs, and then he also has low lows.
I don't want that
With-
bet.
He's very
I don't want that bet on my
intimidating.
center back.
That's what's scary.
I want my center back 6.5 out of 10.
But he's also
7 out of 10
but
performances.
He also doesn't think rash sometimes. He does
He
stupid
doesn't.
decisions.
Completely
He's
emotional.
hot-headed. He's very
I like
hot.
Mancini. He's very intimidating.
Oh, my-
He's
that proves
he's
my
got,
point.
He's got tattoos.
No.
He's got everything. He can scare the living crap out of
Oh
anybody.
yeah, it worked against
I
Holland.
like him.
It worked against Holland. I got to
You
tell
see?
you.
I told
I'm
you.
being sarcastic.
Oh, sarcastic.
Yeah.
Oh. What did he say that?
Holland said, "Oh, Mancini started talking crap to me," and then Holland woke up. This guy he's a fake tough guy. I would not play him anyway. Let's move on. I think we move on. I don't even want to give a prediction. I would like
We're
to
gonna
avoid
win.
it.
We're gonna win.
I would like to avoid it.
We're gonna win. I'm not gonna even touch your wood because it's not necessary. We're
Okay.
winning.
We heard that
We're
one
winning.
before. You predicted what was it?
I
3-0,
didn't predict.
4-0 against
Listen to me.
Macedonia?
As long as you and your father
I'm
don't go to
staying.
Bergamo,
I'm
you
staying.
stay here.
I'm
Bergamo.
staying.
Don't
I'm
leave.
staying.
You don't go
It's
to Bergamo.
Chain him
right?
up in the studio, please.
Chain me up.
Bergen Beach.
All right, let's talk about Serie A. Let's talk about the Campionato because it really was
much better.
it was an exciting week. Peter, I'm gonna cut to the chase.
Sure.
Is Inter throwing it away?
No,
No.
they're not throwing it away. I think. Listen, ultimately, it's not a great result.
1-1
okay?
Fiorentina.
It's a bad result.
First time you don't beat a team in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, but that's stats really don't mean anything.
now the stats he doesn't like.
when you
Now he doesn't like the stats.
Stoots and stats.
when you come to this point of the season, every game it's harder to play versus Fiorentina than it is to play versus the top half of the table because they're
What happened against Milan?
surviving tooth and nail. No, but Milan was a calculated thing.
Okay.
So they calculated the loss.
That was a great calculation. Genius. He
Wow.
was the genius.
You know what? You always have the rabbits
Let me-
coming out of
let
your sleeve all
Listen,
the
come
time,
on.
man.
The reality was Kivu calculated that game because
Yeah,
he
you
wanted.
calculated.
He was trying to.
He does
was
math
trying
like
to
you.
tie.
They-
Yeah,
Kivu.
with the calculator. What kind of a calculator is he using?
Not a good one.
So the thing,
But
Sorry.
yeah, so I think when it comes to Inter, listen, we're still 6 points above Milan. I know Inter have to play Roma at home
And then Como
and then Como
away.
away, but Napoli are home against Milan. So at the same time, there's points to be had if Inter are able to win, or opportunity to at least keep the 6 points again, right? Or have 5
Or
points.
lose
whatever it is.
them.
Or you could also lose them.
Not me, you.
Very good,
I
guys.
know.
We're not fighting
I
for
don't
the
know. Very good.
Scudetto.
you have
we
the same
all know
calculator
this.
Kivu
We
has.
all know
We're
this.
not fighting for the Scudetto.
Okay.
You say you gave yourself 85% chances last time
Yes,
that we
I
spoke.
still
What
keep
do
the
you keep it at?
85. No, I keep it at 85.
85.
Because
Wow.
I think there's still Milan still have to play Juve. Am I right
Yes.
or wrong?
We're not scared about
Juve?
Juve.
So, I
Yeah, we
think
play
I-
Juve.
I
We
think
play
they still
Juve.
have to play Juve. So
Yeah.
there's, even if my thinking, my reasoning is
Atalanta.
this Inter team is not the Inter team of the past, and we need Lautaro back there. We see it. It's
You do play
it's
Juve
this
at
desperate. It's a desperate point that we need Lautaro back in this team. But like the way that the season has been going is not because of Inter's ability to win versus the top teams, be this dominating force within the league. It's because everyone else is slipping as well. So, for me, it's a matter of let's try to get these, because the Roma Como game is going to be very tough. But I think at that point, even Milan Napoli, that game being played at the same time, it kind of cancels each other out.
Okay,
Let's put it that way.
I agree with your reasoning from a macro perspective, but what I want to know is why does Inter have this problem now? Because there are so many things we could point to. We could talk about Marcus Thuram's dip in form.
Yeah, well.
You could talk about Barella. I know you were upset about the mistake on the goal. But the fact that Inter go up in all of these games, they score one goal. They're the team that's thrown away the most points from winning positions, 12 points. It's more than anyone else out of the top seven teams. You score a goal, and you could see that after you score the goal, it's passive, it's relaxed, it's what you did against Milan, it's what you did against Atalanta. And, is there any instinct in this team? You could feel that Fiorentina was going to score. It was a matter of time for them to get the goal.
Why? They could have lost the game.
Why, though? Why? How do you...
Right, Mike?
Or is it just normal dip in the season? Or you can't put your finger on it?
I don't think it's a normal dip, because if you want to win the Scudetto, the dip happens, but then you pick yourself right up. And we haven't seen that in 4 or 5 games now. We definitely are in need of a leader. And again, Lautaro has to be back. Thuram has been terrible for this season. Boni is not cutting it, coming in. So it's like you can't even take Thuram out because Boni is not giving you anything more than that. Pio has been a revelation for this season. Thank God, because he's scored versus Fiorentina, scored versus Atalanta. He's trying, but we need to be able to get that second goal. Without that second goal, you cannot even think to just be passive and just move the ball around, because we saw it already 2 times. You let in 1 goal. I don't care how they score. You're putting yourself at risk. And why drop points when you're in command of the game? So again, too many calculations. I think even yesterday versus Fiorentina, what did we see? Right away, Carlos Augusto out because he has a yellow card. We're going back to the Inzaghi days when we're trying to make sure that everything is in order, everyone's got minutes. Hey, do or die. You got to be able to give your all. And there's no calculations here. Start these other guys. Put Fratesi in. The guy's hungry. Put someone else in that can change the game. That can, ultimately this Inter team does not have anybody that can dribble, that can beat his man. It's an issue.
Comes back
It's a problem. It is a problem. I'm telling you.
The Inter fans can't stand that you have Fratesi.
The thing is, we talked about this a few weeks ago. We're saying, is it going to be a rut that they're in, or whatever the case is? Their last 8 games, they have 2 wins. So we talked about this. We talked about Milan not capitalizing on Lazio, which
let's stay on Inter. Let's stay on Inter.
I just touch on it quickly. We're talking about the character of Kivu. I said we're gonna know a few weeks ago, in the next few weeks, which is fast forward now, how much experience plays a role.
Are you having your doubts?
I'm not having my doubts.
No?
I'm agreeing with my past self.
That was an Antonio. That was the most Antonio thing. You're sitting next to him for too long.
You're agreeing with your past self?
That I said 2 weeks ago. Right?
2 weeks ago.
That's how he compliments himself.
Well, to be fair, not
What about your future self?
I know.
Maybe not compliment, but answering the questions of what I had a few weeks ago.
Oh, me, I know you're Greek, but you're really philosophical right now. Socrates.
'cause
And you were right. And you were right.
Don't cut him off.
To be honest, I didn't say. I was more questioning, saying we'll find a lot about Gattuso and his character as a new coach. And I also said, even if he does go in this rut, he is a new coach. Growing pains as a
inexperienced.
These guys are
Dude,
messing with me.
this is Anto
This
talking.
guy right here.
No, but I didn't say I was ready.
Yeah.
I was questioning. I was like, I want to learn more about Kivu, how he's going to do.
Don't cut him off.
And now we're learning about it.
He's become philosophical. He's Greek.
Socrates.
No, you're Plato. The answer, the truth is within. You have to let it out.
Was that
Listen to
Plato?
me.
But I just want
Was
to
that
say,
Plato?
brother, all of them were like that. They're all what
Okay.
ifs and buts. It was all like, that's all philosophy. Philosophy, it literally translates to the love of wisdom. Philia of Sophia.
That's
Sophia.
right.
Love
Figlia di
of
Sofia,
wisdom.
Lord.
Can you transfer any of that wisdom?
Mike,
next
I
to
agree
you?
with you 100%.
That's not a good
But
thing,
I
Mike.
didn't say anything though.
Listen
I was
to
just,
Paul. Don't cut him off.
it just answered my previous question saying that. And now Kivu, like I said,
Figlia di Sofia, tu sei figlio di... La buona donna.
okay, listen.
Listen.
But I just want to say, 8 games, 2 wins. That's gonna happen, and I wonder now in 2 weeks. How
What are you showing me? 6:46.
How much longer is it gonna be?
My turn.
How much longer is this
My-
war gonna continue?
Don't cut him off.
Well said.
And now Milan are back in the Scudetto race.
Oh, that's what he's waiting for.
But they have to not lose. They gotta keep winning.
Otto, 1 second.
No,
That's
my
it.
turn.
One second.
Don't
One
cut
second.
me
One
off.
second. 1 second. You said well said. What did he say?
He said everything that needed to be said.
I don't think that needs
Listen
be said.
to
That's
me.
good.
Listen
I like
to me.
that.
Is that my turn? Is that my turn? Okay.
It's always your turn, buddy.
Inter is
crazy.
scrambling on their own weight.
Yeah.
That's
Didn't he get on a diet?
bold letter on the Gazzetta dello Sport.
They're
Inter
on Peter's diet.
is scrambling on
Yours is
their
How did they
own
say that in Italian?
weight. L'Inter sta
Scramble.
Are you fake
No.
Italian?
Over easy.
Fugazi Italian.
I don't think you can translate literally. But anyway, you understand my philosophy. I'm trying to put together. You know what I think is gonna happen? You know what is gonna happen? We have De Marco, we have Barella, we have Bastoni, and we have another and what's his name? Pio Esposito playing for the Italian national team. Add those minutes. That's why I want Italy to win. They have to win. Add those minutes into the legs of those guys, on top of the pressure that Inter has to win into the Campionato, especially against Roma, Como, and those lesser teams that you think that they are lesser, that which they are not.
He didn't say it, to be fair. He
said
said the
no.
opposite. He said the opposite just 2 minutes ago.
I think you are staring down a very dark tunnel. I cannot see the end. Me, listen to me. If I was an Inter player or an Inter fan, I will not open my mouth. You are saying with 85% chances that you're still going to win the Campionato?
What's your percentage?
I will not take it to the bank. For Inter to win, I'll give them 50.
Okay, that's
You know
a
what?
little.
Okay. I am worried.
50%. And I
I'm
put
not-
more Napoli than AC Milan right now to get
You
it
guys
there.
laughed at me when I asked this 2
I
weeks
just
ago.
want either Milan or Napoli to win the next game. Whether it's going to
We
be
know,
Milan
we know.
playing in Naples.
You don't want to tie.
Win. No, I don't want to tie.
Yeah, I understand.
crazy.
I think Antonio went further than I would have gone, but I do think that there's a lot of merit in what Antonio's saying, because I said to myself, if Inter don't beat Fiorentina, they could that could be the moment where they start to get really nervous about
When
themselves.
did
Where
you
they
say 2 weeks ago?
where they start to question themselves, where things could fall apart. And I have big question marks around Christian Kivu. I've been saying it for now the last few weeks, ever since the Bodo Glimt.
Mike has been right all the time.
Since the Bodo Glimt result, it feels like they play with the fear. It feels like they just calm and they're too relaxed and we're gonna concede. We can't overexpose ourselves. That was not the Inter. That was not the Inter that showed that they were so strong and dominant and would score 4 or 5 goals. I'm not seeing that right now. Maybe that could change with Lautaro coming back. That could happen, but I do think I do think that game against Fiorentina, with 2 weeks to think about it, with Kolarov after the game, which I didn't like the things that he said. Oh, what are we supposed to win every single game? Are you kidding me? Come on. I didn't like the comments after the match from him as well. You're Inter. You should have the chance. You're playing against one of the last place teams in Fiorentina. Fiorentina doesn't get results in the big games, but I guess we'll
Fiorentina should have
Probably
won
won the
the
game.
won. They had a lot of
That would have
chances.
won the
To
game.
be fair,
To me, if Fiorentina would have won
It
the game,
would
it
have
would
been
never been an
crazy.
issue right now.
Yeah, it would have been crazy.
I
if they
genuinely,
won.
I thought they were gonna do the 2-1, and there's the save at the end from De Gea on
Oh,
Pio,
yeah, it's a great
yeah,
save.
which
yeah,
was
an extra
A
time.
little too late.
yeah, 100. I agree, exactly. Well said. Let's go on to the teams that you mentioned. You mentioned Napoli could be the one that wins the Scudetto, and I think Antonio Conte is finally getting all his players back. We mentioned this on the last podcast. McTominay, De Bruyne. I mean, Napoli, it's amazing how different they look. And it really is amazing that this group has maintained all of this despite everything that's happened to them. And I heard something from Conte after the match. And usually, Conte is somebody that he usually puts the pressure off of him. He says, oh, no, our goal is top 4. He changed his tune before the Inter match. He said, yeah, we should look at the ones above. And I wonder if that's also his mental edge of trying to put more pressure on Inter and seeing if there is a moment. I think that they know they're going to get into a Champions League spot at this point because they've been doing so fantastic in the results that they're getting, in the football that they're starting to play. And I'm with you, Anto. I do think that Napoli could do it. It's 7 points. It's all about if Inter slip up. I could see Napoli winning all of their matches. That's not my doubt. The game against Milan is the most difficult of all. But besides that, they're playing with the confidence. Conte and Allegri are way more experienced than Kivu. We're talking about some of the most experienced managers in the league. So I think they will understand the moment a lot more. That's an argument for Napoli. I don't know. What do you guys think? You still think Inter's going to win the league, obviously. But between Napoli or Milan, who do you think would be the bigger?
The percentage definitely dropped.
Who would be the bigger threat? Because Antonio and I both say Napoli. Would you say Napoli or would you say Milan? And same question for you.
The thing is, I completely put Napoli out of the thing 2 weeks ago. But now, like you said, you brought up some great points about them coming back. And they know how to handle these situations. But not to say that Milan and Allegri are unfamiliar. They're very good too. But I do feel like they got a little momentum, Napoli. And now Conte likes to be the underdog. This is where the water starts boiling.
It's all up for him now.
When you can put spotlight on Conte saying he has to do it, that's when things slip a little bit. But when he's the underdog, like last year against Inter, when he wasn't supposed to win, that's where there's blood in the water, and that's when he starts getting that frenzy. So,
which one would you say between those two?
I don't know. I think Allegri is a very formidable coach, and he knows what to do in these situations for the most part. But then you also have Conte. It's hard.
Pete,
it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Listen, I think when it comes to the squad, right? Napoli are getting all these pieces back. So for Conte, the pressure, is really off because he's 8 points away from the fifth place team. So Champions League is pretty much locked in, and you're getting all your star players back.
8 points.
7.
Yeah, 7.
What are you talking
7
about?
points. Sorry, 7 points from fifth.
From fifth. I'll check, but either way,
Just double check.
Either way, it's fine.
I thought it was
Continue.
What are you talking about? It's not 8 points.
from fifth place, not from fourth. Fifth.
Yeah, he's right.
8 points. Right?
He's right.
8 or 7? What's that? 8?
It's 8.
I said he's correct.
I mean, I just
checked.
checked. That's why I was
All right.
making sure I did.
Your
I don't have
calculator is right.
Exactly, the calculator.
Give it to
works.
Kivu.
I don't have the phones. I don't have the notes.
He's
So-
solar panel.
Yeah, so I think that's not Conte's genius and how he wants to communicate to the media, add pressure to the guys up top. And also for his players, knowing that you have 8 points to really play with, he's like, hey, let's go have fun. Let's go and try to win something. Let's go and try to push above our weight, and let's see what happens. Ultimately, Champions League is his objective. He knows that. He's not saying anything more than what he has to say. With Milan, what I would say is Allegri is a great coach, but he didn't have to deal with any injuries, and Leao has been a disaster this year. Pulisic hasn't been able to score, right? Since January.
They did deal with some injuries.
Okay, but
Jimenez was out. Lau and Pulisic haven't been at their best. But,
okay, granted. My
Just
point is
throwing it out
right
there.
now, you guys have lost points with everyone healthy, with everyone ready to
Gabi out
go.
too.
Gabi out. Okay.
Okay. They
But
don't
you
count.
have the winter.
I mean,
You didn't have any injuries though.
yeah.
Yeah, Inter had injuries too.
But we didn't say you didn't have
Alright,
injuries.
so-
You
so-
said Milan didn't have injuries.
Pete,
My
which
point
are
is
the two
that
teams?
it all depends on Napoli.
can I
It
just
depends on Napoli
throw
versus Milan.
Can I throw one more spark into the fire?
Yeah.
Inter last game is going to be against Bologna.
They threw it away
He's-
against them in the past.
That's right.
If you remember.
I remember that missed the goal, the goalkeeper that they had all of a sudden.
What was his name?
Radu.
Radu.
Oh boy, where's he at?
Radu.
Actually, he played against an Italian team not that long ago.
Yeah,
I
he's in
think.
Spain.
So-
Salta Vigo.
You
Yeah,
have a,
I saw his name pop up.
Pete, you have a phantasmi. Translate what phantasmi means.
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Mm.
That they're swiveling around.
They're saying Pazza Inter.
Yeah,
Pazza Inter.
it's a pazza intera mala.
Wow, they have a good voice.
So you got ghosts circulating around.
It's okay. The Casper, the
So
friendly
you
ghost.
can you can use all the philosophy and the excuses that you want. I think the pressure
That's
is on
your
you guys.
interpretation.
I think the pressure
The
is on
ghost
you
could
guys.
also be like a
I'll
Holy
tell
Spirit,
you what.
give you support, give you
I'll tell you what. I am happy
strength.
sitting on the
How come you're not
couch.
getting the referee calls then?
Listen. I'm
because
happy.
the ghost of the Juventus
Be-
passed
be-
me.
I'm happy here from the couch league, sitting next to Mike and enjoying the show.
I'm not gonna be
If
here.
they throw some crumbles on the floor, some crumbs, we pick it up. If they don't, God bless, we made it to Champions League. That was our
bless.
objective, okay? The pressure is on you.
You know what's interesting too?
The pressure is on
Roma.
you.
It's Inter Roma before Napoli. Milan.
Those matter.
Oh.
The day before.
Oh,
Those
That's good
matter
for
so
Inter.
much.
You think that's good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
I
what?
rather.
Oh, I don't know about
It's
that.
good
I think
for Inter?
It's good for Inter, yeah. To play before. Because when you play after,
put
that's
pressure
when
on
you
you.
have the pressure on you that you have to get those points.
No.
With Inter, you got to win versus Roma. That's it. That's the objective. You're home, you need to win.
Since when have they done that?
No, we're
Like
not
we
going to
said,
lose
they-
against Roma. We're not losing.
He's
You're not
talking about
playing
you. He's
Roma.
saying
I
Inter.
mean, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
Anyway.
about that.
Anyway,
When you play before, is not pressure.
great debate. I think that the Scudetto race is on. I think that it's definitely possible.
What's the percentage? Peter said 70, Inter to win.
I like,
No, he said 85. I said 50.
I will go 60.
50.
60.
It's to Inter?
60 it's Inter, yeah.
And then 20 to Milan and Napoli. 20,
say a little
20%
bit
each.
more.
I'll give a little edge to Napoli.
Okay,
I'll
so
give the edge to Napoli.
25 and 15. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
sure. Our calculators
What
work.
about Mike? Your calculator,
I
what does
say
it say?
65 Inter.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
All right.
Let's talk about Juventus throwing away Champions League, if you guys agree with that statement, because this was one that, going back to old podcasts, I stayed consistent and said that Juventus will be in Champions League, and they are absolutely proving me wrong. And this is it's now the first time that I'm genuinely thinking that they won't be in Champions League after an entire season where I said even with Tudor, even when the team was transitioning without a center, I said Juventus is going to get in Champions League. Come on, it's Juventus. Of course they're going to get into Champions League football. And you watch what Como is doing, which they deserve so much credit for what they're doing, and we could talk about them a little bit after. I could see Como winning all of their games, by the way. They have to play Inter. Maybe one game they have a slip-up, but guess what? They have the advantage now because Juventus tied Sassuolo 1-1, and that means Como have 4 points at over them. Juventus have to make 4 points over Como because Como have the head-to-head. So if they arrive on tied points...
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Exactly. If they arrive at tied points, the first break,
Game breaker,
it's
yeah.
head-to-head. And Como beat Juventus twice. So Juventus does not need to get 3 points. They have to get 4 points above Como, which throws another wrench in this qualification for Champions League.
Como estás right there. Fabregas is going.
Como
And I-
está? Como está?
Como está? They're there.
Stars too.
But first let's do Juventus because similar to the things that I mentioned about Inter,
como va.
you could see what was going to happen against Sassuolo for the way that Juventus was playing, for the fact that they were not going to score the second goal. He starts Jonathan David on the bench for the second time in a row, not playing with the center forward. Como has this incredible outbreak of what they call whooping cough. I never heard of it before this. But
Never heard of it.
No, I never heard of
What is a
cough.
whooping cough?
When you have nonstop coughing.
I don't know about that.
Pump a cushion over you.
And they're missing 5 players on top of injuries. So it's a their midfield, Torsvet and Matic, both not there. Players injured as well. There was talks maybe this game could get canceled. And we've mentioned how great Sassuolo have been on this team. Even this year with Grosso, even in the games that they've lost, they freaking fight. They play such good football. They could sit in, hit out on the counterattack. They get the 1-1, and even at halftime, exactly what I felt about Inter, I felt about Sassuolo coming back and doing the 1-1. You look at Ellie, misses a penalty kick, which was a dubious penalty kick, to say the
Former team.
least. Against his former team, I didn't think about that.
Cold feet.
A very poor penalty
Oh
kick
my
in a moment
God.
where
Oh my
Spalletti actually told them to switch the penalty kick taker because Yildiz was going to take the penalty. We know Juventus has missed already 3 penalties, decisive penalties. He gave it to Locatelli, who had scored against Galatasaray, and he has it saved, but it's a terrible penalty.
Yeah,
Would you have scored the penalty, Anto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where would you have gone?
Me? Straight
Not
on the
there,
middle.
not
Straight
there.
on the middle.
Cucchiaio.
Cucchiaio.
What's the percentage that you
This one,
score?
Me, 85%. Maybe 90.
Okay.
Okay. You
So
know what?
did Juventus throw it away?
What's
Is this the
it?
weekend that Juventus
Yes,
threw it away?
Yes, they did.
They're not going to
to
be in Champions League football.
I want to say they threw it away. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah. Tell me why.
I think there's a great chance that Juventus is not going to make Champions League, and I'll tell you the reasons why. I think Spalletti right now is starting to feel the pressure. Before, I mean, how can you switch a penalty taker? I mean, Yildiz for me is a better penalty taker than Locatelli. Number one. Number two. What are you doing with the subs? Why are you subbing? You put in Milik and you put in Vlahovic. Almost when the game is over. 10, 15 minutes before the game. He puts Miretti first and then puts the other guy. He had all of those chances to put those two guys in. And you know what? The way I saw them play, those guys are fit to play. They are fit to play. You have to use your best right there on the spot. Don't even wait 1 minute. So when I saw myself, oh my God, Milik is coming in. These guys haven't played in 2 years. And then I saw Vlahovic. Oh boy. I said, let's see what they have. They have a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, you know, what's his name? Vlahovic, he missed that goal right in front of the net. I don't know if he slipped up or he got a little late, but he was right there almost to score. I mean, this, to me, you guys are making a huge mistake to sign Spalletti. Big mistake.
Oh.
Whether he makes Champions League or whether he doesn't make Champions League. He had all the time, the chances, the opportunity, and the money, and he had all the group.
He didn't get his transfers that he wanted.
Wait a moment. Who did? Nobody.
He didn't choose.
Nobody
He
did.
didn't get to choose
Nobody
anything.
did. Milan didn't get anything except
we're
for Roma
talking
against
about-
Milan.
we're talking about Spalletti.
Spalletti should have done better. I don't think he did anything any better than what's his name, Tudor of he didn't do any
points
better.
per game say a different story, but okay.
Okay, he didn't do any better. So what he did?
Yeah.
He did. What did he do? He did jig the game a little bit.
Yeah, he has
points
done
per
better.
game.
He has more points.
He has
He
more
has done
points.
better, yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Honestly, I don't put Spalletti at the top of the list. It feels like to me, Juventus have been.
It's a big
Juventus has been
mistake.
skating on thin ice for years.
Big mistake.
On thin ice, you know, they always qualify the last day. Something went their way.
Get a young
They were
coach.
flirting with it. They were doing
tried
this,
that.
and guess what? Now you have a team behind you that has such a fantastic project that has overstepped you. They've overdone you, and I have the numbers here as well. After 30 games for Juventus this season, split between Tudor and Spalletti. It's the worst Juventus since 2010-2011, since Del Neri was the coach in terms of points accumulated. Only 54 points in that time frame. Where do Mike and Peter, Anton and I both said that we think that Juventus won't make Champions League at this point, which is, again, something that I would have never expected, even just a few weeks ago. How do you guys see it?
I mean, last week I wanted to believe, just to jump on the bandwagon and say Como. But now it's not looking like it would be nice to support them, whatever. They're looking good. Como winning, whatever, dismantling, winning 5-0. I wouldn't say it's over because it is only 3 points. And there's another thing we got to see when it's crunch time, how good of a coach Fabregas is. And when the last few games, he's been doing it all season. But when you're sweating and you got to get those games, I think Spalletti has the edge in terms of strictly experience than him. So I think it's definitely not over yet. Como have a very slight advantage. 3 points is nothing.
Four.
Okay, yeah, plus game
And
breaker.
the match to match. What do you call it?
Yeah,
Yeah, the game.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying. The game breaker would be 4
The
points.
tiebreaker, yeah.
Yeah, it's still wide. It's still an open for sure for me.
Peter, is it more likely that Como get Champions League football than Juventus at this point?
I mean,
Say it.
more likely, yes, because they have 3 points over Juve. But I think it's still way too early because I think,
Okay.
like your father said, okay, Como doesn't have this pressure, but now the reality is right there, hitting them in their face. They're going to feel some pressure about Champions League. They have some tough games coming up, too. So I think, it's still a little too early to understand. We're very tight and close. But the same, kind of reason why I say Inter can go on and win this Scudetto, I have to say the same thing for Como being able to get fourth place. Where, Como might drop points, right, in these tough games. But Juventus doesn't look like they can win them out, and whoever else. Yeah,
It wasn't the way to use your lifeline.
Yeah, so for me, that's really the biggest thing. It's
Good point.
Como doesn't, even if they don't win out, Juventus, are they going to be able to win out? Are they going to be able to jump them? Like, Como really has to, slide for Juve to go. So I think it's still going to be like that. I think the Champions League will be decided at the last day. I think the Scudetto will be decided before Bologna.
I disagree with him about the pressure. The pressure is on Juventus. Como, they were not even at the beginning of the Campionato. And nobody predicted Como to make it into Champions League, not even in Europe.
Europe, yes.
Some of them. Well,
the pressure's on Juve, for sure. But there's pressure on Como, too.
The pressure is on Juve. No, it's more on Juve.
Because I think it's way more on.
Juve is expected to win either the Campionato or at least make the Champions
Why
League.
does Como feel pressure?
The Como's got no pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure
It's a
whatsoever.
historic thing, of course.
They
are-
trust in their
of course
qualities.
it's-
They approach every match the
doesn't
exact
matter.
same way. The fans are applauding them
Best
no matter
defense.
what.
But still,
They have the
a
best
his-
defense.
To do a historic run to go Champions League, there's no
Mike,
pressure.
there is no pressure on
I
them.
don't think they feel the pressure.
There is pressure, not as
You know,
much as you.
I'll give an
There's still
example.
pressure.
I'll give an example.
Of course
I think
there
you brought
is.
it up. It might have been you that brought it up
weeks
last
ago?
week.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Remember Ranieri when they were going for the title?
Right.
And he said, "We're already in Champions
Leicester
League."
City,
Oh, did I not say Leicester? Sorry, Leicester City. And he goes, "We're already in Champions League," and they were saying, "Oh, is there pressure on you?" They were playing with house money.
That's
to me,
right.
it's almost the same comparison
Yes.
with Como.
But just because he was trying to revert the thing, saying we're in Champions League, forget it. Of course there was pressure. You don't think he
Nah,
was?
they were playing with a freedom.
Come on,
Como
You
plays
don't
with
think
a
there was
freedom.
pressure on
You
Ranieri?
also were competing versus a
House
Tottenham,
money.
so it was different.
How's
I
money?
get there's
That-
house money, but there's
Well, look at
still
this Juventus.
pressure. It
That's
doesn't
true.
take away, regardless.
Let me read Como's games because he mentioned it. Udinese
Win.
away.
Win.
Home
Como
versus
wins.
Inter.
Como
Away
ties.
versus Sassuolo.
Win.
Coppa Italia against Inter.
Win.
Away against Genoa.
Win.
Home against Napoli.
Tie.
Away against Verona.
Win.
Home against Parma.
Win.
Away against Cremonese.
Win.
And if we just do the same with Juventus real quick. Juventus at home versus Genoa. Away against Atalanta.
Tie. Or win, lose.
Home versus Bologna.
Lose.
Away against Milan.
Lose. Go ahead. Go ahead.
They're getting relegated.
Finish up. Finish.
Home against Verona.
Win.
Away against Lecce.
Win.
Home against Fiorentina.
Die.
No, that's not gonna be it. At home, Juventus as well.
Yeah.
And then away against Torino.
Lose.
Wait, who's losing that game?
Juventus.
Juventus is gonna lose to Torino.
Yes, sir.
That's the
Do you
last
know the
game.
That's the last game.
Doesn't matter.
Hold on.
Doesn't matter.
I bet you the
Torino
last
is
time
gonna-
that they've won.
Doesn't
You know the
matter.
Torino players are going
Torino is playing
They're
well
gonna give
the last
them all.
4 or 5 games.
Yeah, against you
Never.
or Milan,
Did
what they
they?
do.
I think they won a,
They almost
a
won.
game recently.
Almost.
With a year or something.
Anyway, you guys make of that what you will. I think Roma's out. By the way,
Why?
Roma's out of the race.
If Roma wins Sunday next game against Inter, Roma, I will not count Roma out.
The last time Torino beat Juventus is 2015.
So what?
Over 10 years
Those are
ago.
stats, Marcos. Those are stats.
And then I can't even find another time that they've beaten them. My app
Okay.
doesn't even go far back enough.
And you know what? You guys are underestimating Fiberglass. He's the best coach that we
Who
have.
underestimated him?
You guys, Mike said, "Oh, the pressure when it's going to start to get the pressure is going to."
I didn't I just said
You are
in a few weeks
underestimating
we'll
that
find
guy. That guy's
out.
been a winner all of his career, Mike. That guy's been a winner all of his career.
Maybe as a
and he's
player.
got Mike. He's got player that they want to taste what winning means. All about it.
Look
I see
what they did
Baturina.
against Pisa.
I see Baturina. I see Nico. Those are all people they're showcasing. Young guys, they're showcasing how good they are. You know how many teams that are on top of those guys? They want to snatch them from Como. Como is playing the best soccer in
Yes.
Italy right now.
Yes.
Best defense
one's
right now.
No one's saying. No one's this.
And
No
they
one's
win.
going against with what you're
the way that they
saying.
approach the games. We talk about calculations for Inter. They don't do that. They genuinely want to win.
That's
I
right.
love the way they approach the game against Pisa, scoring 5 goals because that could have been a difficult.
They don't
moment.
stop.
There was pressure. There was pressure in that game because Juventus tied. What did they do? They took care of him, and guess what? I had the confidence when I was before the game. I said they're going to take care of business because the way that they approach the games, they're so hungry. They believe in their
That's
football.
right.
They have talents on all ends. Everyone keeps talking, oh, it's only Nico Paz. It's not only Nico Paz. You just mentioned Baturino is fantastic. D'Acunha again, putting in good performances.
Yeah.
Dude, when there's
Diao is back
My
after 11
goodness
months.
gracious.
when they want to make their fans so proud. They know it's right there for the taking. Of course, there's gonna be pressure. I'm not saying as much as Juve, but there's still a lot of pressure for them. They're a new team.
Mike, they
There's
are,
gonna be pressure.
everyone can
Mike,
disagree.
they
You
are
can
there
disagree.
to Mike. They are
can
there
disagree.
to prove something. Mike, they are there to prove that doesn't matter what
So
you
there's
want in
zero
the past.
pressure for them?
No pressure.
Anto, what are you talking about? Of
No
course there's
pressure.
pressure.
Mike,
You're out of your
no
mind. Pete.
pressure.
Pete, there's no pressure.
Why do you?
for them.
Yo,
No
you don't
pressure.
need to ask anyone.
A
you,
little-
You
there's gonna
disagree.
be.
You disagree. He already
I said
answered.
already.
Everyone answered. It's
What'd
fine.
you say?
I said, of course they.
He
feel
said it like 5 times. It's fine. Nobody has to agree. That's the beauty of football. Everyone can
But-
think the way that it is. For me, the best example is Leicester City. It's the exact same. They're playing
House
with
money.
money. Even Napoli. Same thing as Napoli for Scudetto. House money. They've already achieved their objective. If they get it, remarkable. If not, fantastic.
House money and pressure is two different things, though.
Anyway, I think that's it, right? We touched everything. Lazio.
Yeah,
Lazio
say a few
getting
things about the
good form.
bottom of a 5 or 6, because it's very, very crazy.
Lazio-
Go on,
Whatever
then
is
we'll
going
wrap
on
up.
the
Well, I
top,
wanna say Lazio.
similarly, something is going on at the bottom. There's going to be a dog fight for the last 5 or 6
Who's going to go
teams.
down?
I just hope Cremonese, the way they look right now, I just hope Cremonese goes down, and we know Verona is probably 100% is going
Yeah.
to go down. Pisa, they don't have any more left. I don't think they have enough to make up for the gap that they need to make up. I hope Lecce doesn't slip up, because
They're sinking like their tower over there, right?
I want Cremonese not to stay up. That's it.
For Lazio, I was gonna
Yeah, go for
say, we're talking about their goalie because Providel's out. Mota, he's young and inexperienced. He gave up a penalty, which happened from a mistake. So back-to-back mistakes. He ended up saving the penalty. Incredible from Orsolini. Amazing stuff. Then they ended
From
up getting.
Orsolini. Incredible from Orsolini?
No, incredible. He saved the penalty
Oh.
from
Okay,
Orsolini took it. And I was like, whoa. At first, I was like, inexperienced young, it sucks. Then he saved it. I was like, whoa, incredible, whatever. And then they ended up scoring 2 goals right after. And I was like, okay, good for them. Happy for Lazio there. Even we said this was a dud of a
2 big
season for
games.
them.
Big game.
And
Big games.
good experience for Mota, for that goalkeeper. Someone to keep an eye on. So it's
Absolutely.
exciting.
Youngest ever to debut.
Yeah.
Where are we watching the game, by the way, before we close
We'll
this?
let you know.
You're going to let you know. Okay.
let you know.
Mike.
Do not disturb.
All right, guys. Let us know your predictions for Italy in the World Cup for the 4th place.
Chiesa,
for the Scudetto.
Pressure.
We're winning.
All the
we
good
don't
stuff.
want to hear about Chiesa anymore.
Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Azzurri.
Bye, guys.